What's up, fight fans? This is Counterpunch with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder and Luis Ortiz, okay? Now, I've got a lot of comments that have been speaking of Wilder and have been criticizing his wins over Luis Ortiz in reference to Povetkin's knockout of Dillian Whyte. And basically what they were saying was that Luis Ortiz's loss to Deontay Wilder was a younger guy versus an older guy, okay? And Wilder shouldn't get credit for beating Luis Ortiz because he was older. Well, to those guys, okay, because this is a fair channel, you have to give Deontay Wilder credit for beating that guy. I don't give a shit if he's 85. Why? Because no one else has beat that 85-year-old guy at all. No one has beat him. He was the first to do it, and he was the only one to do it. And he did it 2 times. Okay? Now, does that mean, what does that really mean? That means he gets full credit for beating Ortiz. Okay? Povetkin will get credit for knocking out Whyte. But in that same token, if Dillian Whyte would have knocked out Povetkin, he should have got that same attribute and same credit as Deontay Wilder knocking out Luis Ortiz. And a lot of people say, oh man, you can't compare Povetkin to Ortiz. Yes, you can. They're both great amateurs. I know Povetkin was the Olympic gold medalist. You have 300 and some odd to 19 losses for Ortiz, and I think Povetkin's like 125 to 7. Okay. Now, if you do the math, because Ortiz was in 3 times as many. Okay. So 7, 7, and 7. So for every 100, you got to look at what? 7 losses. I don't know the math right now. About 7.5 losses, something like that. 6.5. Okay. So the guy was a good amateur. He beat some good opponents. Tony Thompson, Malik Scott, Brian Jennings. Brian Jennings went 12 rounds with Vladimir Klitschko. A lot of people can't say that. Okay. Ortiz got him out of there. So if you want to look at that in comparison, where Povetkin was beat by Vladimir Klitschko, okay, he was knocked out by Anthony Joshua, and that's his only 2 losses. And Ortiz's only 2 losses is to the former WBC champion, Deontay Wilder himself. So if we have some type of comparison, yeah, they're both old. They're both in their 40s. They're both middle-aged. But guess what? Alexander Povetkin proved this for both guys. He proved that they were both very, very dangerous. Hell, George Foreman proved that years ago when he knocked out Michael Moore in the 10th round. So let's just be real. Just because you're old doesn't mean you're getting counted out like that. So make that what you will about Deontay Wilder. So when I do hear comments about, oh man, Wilder shouldn't get credit for Ortiz. Yes, of course he should get credit. The question is, how much credit can you give him without comparing Luis Ortiz to all these other top heavyweights that he hasn't fought yet? Hopefully he gets that shot because he's still hungry for that shot. Okay? For those opportunities. And I hope he gets them so we'll know where to rate Ortiz. Just like Povetkin got his chance to fight Dillian Whyte, I wanted the same for Luis Ortiz. Everybody that follows this channel knew that's the fight I want to see. The PBC second in command, the gorilla, the King Kong, Luis Ortiz. You know, he's that very feared guy that nobody wanted to fight, blah, blah, blah. Deontay Wilder fought him. But who else has he fought on that top level? You know? And since these guys are getting older, I think it's paramount for these guys to get fights. That's why I piss on Andy Ruiz for the decision he made to duck that fight. And he ducked it. And that's a PBC fighter. Okay? But all in all, these guys need the opportunity, just like Povetkin, to get that chance of showing people what older fighters can do, and they shouldn't be counted out. But as far as Deontay Wilder, again, Deontay Wilder gets full credit for that fighter, and I hope they release that guy so he can fight better opposition. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.